What's up guys, welcome back to Aquatic Elements. Today we are visiting Jamie from Reef and Teeth on Instagram. I'm going to put his links down below if you want to check out his social media platforms. We're going to be looking at this stunning mixed reef behind me. He's got a lovely frag tank, and just to the right of you he's got some absolutely superb stingrays. He's also got a few other tanks dotted around, so let's head around his fish room and check it out. Here's Jamie, and big thank you to Jamie for doing the video today. He's going to take us around his fish room. As you can see, we've got quite a few tanks here. So Jamie, if you could maybe introduce this tank first and talk to us a little bit about it.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is just a little project tank I put at the side of my desk for a bit of I wanted a desktop light. It's just a cheap second-hand turtle tank found on Facebook Marketplace, made of all the stuff I had laying around.
Yeah.
Obviously bought a couple of plants, but yeah, pondweed from the local river. A nice couple of plants I've bought, but it's just a low maintenance shrimp and live bearer system.
Oh, that's absolutely lovely. You've got some different plants like Anubias and...
Yeah, interesting. This one's actually a mangrove.
Like a salt
yeah,
water?
it was growing in here with the other one.
Yeah.
I just found it wasn't doing so well. I thought I'd chuck it in the freshwater tank. Obviously they're from a brackish estuary sort of places anyway.
Yeah.
And it's taken off.
Oh, wicked. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
And now moving on to maybe some of your bigger tanks, like your monster fish tank we've got just behind us here.
Yeah, sure. So this is my oldest running system. It used to be in the living room in the house.
Yeah.
And I've dedicated it over to my stingrays, which I've had all these stingrays from they were little tiny pups, and they're just sort of coming of age now.
Yeah.
Obviously a couple of black diamonds. The two at the back are Austrian line.
Yeah.
It's obviously an albino pearl. And a mini marble Matoro bred by Richard Hardwick, who's unfortunately been the victim of a rigorous breeding session the last couple of weeks. So she's about to go into segregation.
Yeah.
For a bit of a recovery. But and obviously, and then my absolute pride and joy is the Vitatus tigerfish.
Yeah, he is stunning. What would you say is about 16 inches or so?
Easily 16, yeah. If you go right to the tail tip, you're probably going to get 18 out of him.
Yeah, he's absolutely stunning.
I've had him nearly 3 years from a group of 5, which was a really settled group.
Yeah.
I lost the dominant one through pure shock. Later found out it was a stingray barb it had ingested.
Oh no.
But since the dominant one had died, the 4 remaining ones all sort of vied for dominance, and unfortunately 4 wasn't a big enough group. And this was
just him.
He was the strongest one standing. But I've kind of come to the idea now that when I had a group of 5,
yeah,
they always had the odd nick and scrape where they would bicker.
Yeah.
I'm more settled now having an immaculate singleton.
Yeah, he's stunning, fin perfect.
Shows off the species quite well. Yeah, we'll see him feeding shortly as well.
Brilliant. And what sort of filtration have you got running on the system and the volume of it? So
all in all, it's 1,700 litres. So it's an 8 foot by 2.5 by 2.5, and the sump is a 6 by 2 by 2.
Yeah.
You might be able to see, it's a bit of a mess under here, but I've insulated it all, but essentially it's 4 chambers.
Yeah. And
how I run all of my large fish systems is the first chamber is just sponge, filter sponge only, nothing in there, just on a raised platform.
Yeah.
The next two chambers is 90 kilos of alpha grog.
Oh, perfect.
That's all I use is alpha grog.
Yeah, I use that in my tank as well. Really, really good filtration.
I'm a massive fan of keeping things simple, and I've never had a problem with it. I use alpha grog in my koi ponds, in my tropical setups, and here it's purely because the rays and the tigers create so much mess. It's just a massive biofilter.
Yeah.
And the last chamber is just return pump and heaters.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is.
Yeah, the rays are looking really, really healthy. Shall we give them a little bit of food?
Yeah, if you want to do that now, happy to. So I normally give him 2 or 3 sprats at a time, but I fed him yesterday after a water change, but it should hopefully take 1. All right, shall I just carry on?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's see if he's going to get the gist of it. Probably not.
Maybe once he starts to smell it.
Yeah, if he turns around.
So how long have you had the stingrays and the tigerfish?
Tigerfish is coming up 3 years. I got him as a tiny sort of 3-inch sort of minnow-sized fish in a group of 5.
Yeah.
The rays various. The The longest ray I've had is the male. He's coming up 2.5. In fact, his birthday's May the 25th. It's the joy of having captive bred fish from your pals, you know the dates of birth.
Yeah.
And then the others are about 2 years old. So they've got a lot of growing to do still, which I fully appreciate. The male BD actually came from what I was hoping to be a small bloodline of BDs. His parents are only sort of 14 inches.
Oh, okay.
And the previous owner of those had them for several years at that size. So
yeah.
I was really hoping that
they'll stay
true.
smaller.
Yeah, absolutely. And hence the mini marble. It's a sort of a nice, adequately sized ray that can live its whole life in this tank.
Yeah. I don't think the tigerfish is going to be.
Do you know what? I fed him yesterday because he was getting really aggressive with everything. I would normally have starved him, but
Maybe I'll move around to this side.
when he turns around, I'll chuck this one in.
Apologies, guys, about the reflection. But hopefully you can see them all feeding.
Typically, he's got stage fright.
Yeah, he's a bit camera shy today, isn't he? I'm sure we'll move round to the reef tanks and he'll probably eat it behind our backs.
Yeah. Do you know what though? As fish go, he really is a bit like that.
Yeah.
I used to have a Mabu pufferfish.
Oh yeah.
That was really like, you know how people call them water puppies.
Yeah.
They're really tame. He would only feed from when I fed it, and if my wife or anyone else put food in the tank, he wouldn't touch it.
Oh really? That's funny.
It had to be me. It was really frustrating because obviously you go on holiday and
Yeah.
can you feed my fish for me, and he wouldn't eat anything.
Oh, wicked. Could you maybe talk to us about probably the frag tank first, and then we'll move on to the main display?
Yeah, so the frag tank was another project. Everything in this room is sort of, I've built myself, and I like to mess and tinker. I wanted to add extra sort of capacity to the system. So as you can see, I've drilled this tank.
Yeah.
And it's all plumbed into the same sump as the main system.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a repurposed
Dual
Rio 180. I took the old filtration out, made my own weir box on that side.
Yeah.
And it's dedicated purely as a frag system. So I constantly frag my corals when they grow right, just to trade with people, do some swaps here and there. But the key thing as well is I use this tank as an acclimation tank.
Oh, okay.
So if I buy a new fish, especially things like tangs and angelfish,
you don't want to risk putting them into the display.
Absolutely, they go in here first. They get a couple of months of feeding, used to the system, and then when it's time to put into the main tank, it's a lot less stressful. They're already acclimated. It's just
and it's just a quick move rather than from the shop or wherever you're buying them from.
Absolutely, and I can concentrate the feeding on these guys in this system. So it's been. I find you probably agree yourself and have the same experience that reef tanks do best when you leave them alone.
Yeah.
So having this system keeps me busy. I can tinker with this. It means I don't touch the main display tank.
Yeah. Definitely. And I can see fish-wise you've got, is that a gold flake angel?
That's a captive bred gold flake angel, that one.
Oh wow.
I've had him literally only 3 weeks now.
Oh yeah, he's stunning. And you've got a zebra convict tang, is it?
Convict tang, that's right, yeah.
And the Tamini as well.
The Tamini is a permanent resident of this tank.
Yeah.
He's just there as clean-up crew, sort of utilitarian, algae control, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The convict and the gold flake are destined to go in the main tank when they're big enough and I'm happy with them.
Yeah.
There's also an algae blenny and a 6-line wrasse.
Yeah, I can see the blenny just hiding under there.
Again, he's just there as a clean-up crew, and a wrasse like a 6-line is good for any frag tank for pest control.
Pests. He's looking really healthy. And coral-wise in here, I can see you've got some fuzzy mushrooms.
Yeah, it's a real eclectic mix. A couple of fuzzy mushrooms, some green Ricordias and a nice luminous orange Ricordia. GSP because everyone's got GSP, right?
Yeah, why not?
Bits of red Monty, which I'm constantly snapping out of the DT.
Yeah.
And I just can't throw live coral away.
Yeah.
Even though it's probably not the most lucrative or desirable stuff, it's just I can't throw it away.
Yeah, it grows like crazy, doesn't it?
And a couple of bits I fragged at the top, which, a bit messy, but it's a bit sparse at the moment. Bit of some Cypastria, and down here are the two most special bits. It's a captive bred Scalemia.
Yeah, that's stunning.
The plain red, and also a jelly bean chalice frag next to it.
Yeah, they're lovely, and I can see you've grown a bit of GSP on that 3D printed skull there.
Yeah, just a bit of Trying to make a hairnet for him. Bit of a something to play with.
Oh, brilliant.
I can just pop some food in for this if you like.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm
assuming when you put this in, the main tank will then start to smell food in the system.
Yeah, once it goes round, they know what the pot looks like anyway. So
yeah, well, check out these guys eating, and then we can finish up on the main display, which is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, as I say, it's all plumbed into the same, so that gives me a total volume of Reef of about 730 litres.
Yeah. And these frag racks are new, aren't they?
They are actually, yeah. They've only been put in this week, but they came from a really cool sort of reef, a hobbyist guy who's got his own sort of spin-off company called Marine Spec.
Oh, cool.
And they were custom sized, custom made.
Yeah.
We designed them together. And yeah, I think it's
they
really,
look brilliant.
Really cool look. Yeah, really happy with them.
Really, really nice.
Before that, I just had some egg crate which I knocked up, which it did the job, but it just looked a bit tacky.
Yeah, no, they look really, really neat and tidy. So moving on to the main display, an absolutely stunning tank. And I've seen a lot of Reef tanks, and I do see a lot of Reef tanks, and a big credit to you. This is an absolutely lovely system.
I appreciate you saying that. It's as any reefer will tell you, they can tell you loads of flaws with it, but no, I'm happy with how it's growing in. It's nearly 18 months old now.
Yeah.
So everything started out as sticks.
Could you maybe talk to us about the system overview first, maybe the volume, what filtration you've got? I can see you've got some radions running on it, and then we'll look at the inhabitants inside. Yeah,
sure. So it's a custom build. It was previously what my Stingrays were in. So when my pups grew up in this tank, as it was a freshwater system. It's got a 4 foot by 1.5 sump, which is now remote in this box around the side.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously all the equipment needed on a reef tank wouldn't fit underneath the custom stand I had.
Yeah.
So if I look underneath the actual tank itself, all I have is a freshwater reservoir and a saltwater mixing reservoir.
Oh, for your water changes?
Yeah, just for water changes and a bit of storage. So there's nothing really underneath the tank.
It's nice and neat and tidy, and I can see it's on a metal stand. Was that an ND Aquatics?
It was ND Aquatics, yeah. Again, a custom size is quite low, but I got it that size, so it fitted underneath the windows. It used to be here. And also, when I'm sat on my desk chair, perfect viewing height.
Yeah, no, it's really, really nice and neat and tidy. And you've just got a sort of magnetic door on there.
It's just a magnetic door I've made myself with some offcuts of wood.
Yeah.
I say it's all self-made stuff, so it's not the most luxurious of stuff you'll see, but it does me.
Absolutely works perfectly.
And we run filtration-wise. If I expose the sump for you, I can explain how that looks.
Yeah.
So it's a remote sump, which wasn't planned, but has been a blessing in disguise, because it now means that I can access everything freely.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, you've got no sort of restrictions there. So you've got the water coming in.
So from both tanks fills into this overflow chamber, like a settlement box. So I vac that out every now and then.
Yeah.
Over into the next stage, which is the filter roller.
Is that a Red Sea?
It's the Red Sea 250.
Yeah.
That's not. It's on a bypass. It's pump fed, so not everything goes through that.
Okay.
I just find they run a bit too clean.
Yeah.
Next, got the Reef Octopus skimmer.
Yeah.
Really reliable bit of kit. Algae light reactor full of ketomorpha.
Yeah.
That runs on a reverse cycle, so lights on overnight.
Yeah.
Roa Phos reactor at the end, and then the newest addition was a Deltec UV, and that was partly because I bought a powder blue tank, and you need to buy a UV with a powder blue tank.
Just to prevent any potential white spot issues.
That's it. But it's all easily accessible now.
Yeah.
I've got a Red Sea 4-stage doser running the 2 parts elements program. Regular ICP, so I do add little bits here and there if I need to.
Yeah.
I find my iodine consumption is quite high, so that's the main thing I'll put drops in of. But everything else is pretty stable. But it's really quite a basic system. As I say, I don't like to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, you haven't got any sort of like Apex or monitoring systems on there?
Not yet. that is one thing I'm looking for is,
Okay.
is to get an Apex system in future, because
Yeah.
just the value of stuff I've got now, it's
When you're away as well, it's
it's a
just easy to
it's a safety
check
net.
up on. And then you've got the Vortex, is it the MP40s?
That's right, 2 MP40s and 2 Reef wave gyros from Red Sea.
Yeah.
Really, I've got these customised into a really good flow pattern now, so it's alternate pulsing.
Yeah, it looks perfect. And finally onto arguably the best part of the tank, the livestock. Could you maybe talk to us about some of the fish you've got in here? I can see they're all looking really, really healthy.
Yeah, so fish-wise, my true love in this tank and the whole purpose of going marine again was for a Regal Angel.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a Pygo.
Beautiful.
So again, he started life in the frag tank for a few months, but he's now doing very well.
Yeah.
I do take on board probably people's comments that there are clams in this tank with an angelfish. Always a risk.
Yeah, they're just two deracers, aren't they?
They're two deracers. There's a Maxima at the top here,
Oh yeah.
and then to your left there's another deracer and another Maxima. So 5 clams in total. So far so good. He hasn't touched them.
Yeah.
I am prepared to move them into the frag tank if need be, but so far so good. So he's my main highlight of a fish. Secondly, yellow tang. Had to have a yellow tang.
Yeah.
Always been one of my favourite marine species. Just the downside is when I used to work in the trade, they were 39 quid.
Yeah, I remember those days.
And when I wanted to buy one, that's a captive bred one again.
Yep.
It was a lot more than that. And then, yeah, powder blue, again, can be a very problematic fish, but touch wood.
They are just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I thought for what you get out of a powder blue, I just had to have one. He's such a beautiful fish.
Yeah.
And then a gem tang. So, as you can probably guess, tangs and angels are my favourite fish.
Yeah,
which,
I don't blame you.
Yeah, difficult to accommodate in reef tanks. But as I say, it's working well so far, and I'm just avoiding, really fleshy species like the scallywag being in here and things.
Yeah, and acans, I can't see any.
No acans. Yeah, I've had no luck with them.
And you've probably got one of the fattest fox face I've ever seen, but he's just gone into hiding now.
So the foxface was the first fish I bought, so he's been with me for the whole of the 18 months.
Yeah.
Him and the Tamini tang. But you're right, he's a bit of a beast. If I just pop a bit of food in, you get them all to come to the front.
Oh, they definitely know you're the one that feeds them. Oh yeah, you can see that fox face. He's massive.
He's a big boy. Funny enough, the only fish the powder blue takes issue with is the foxface.
Yeah.
But the antheas I put in about a year ago to try and get my nutrients off the floor.
Okay.
I was struggling with phosphate and nitrate being non-existent.
Yeah.
And it was baffling to me that I had to buy nitrate and dose nitrate.
Yeah.
So I bought some antheas and put an auto feeder on, and that seems to have helped.
Oh, brilliant. And you've got a massive selection of corals in here. Are there any standout favourites that you've got? Or would that be a hard question?
No. I like all corals, but for me, I'm a fish keeper first. I got the tanks for the fish for me. The corals came second, but I have developed a massive interest in them. So I love chalices.
Yeah.
Chalices are my probably favourite type of coral at the moment. Started out of the Avatar. There's a lemon drop I've recently put in with a bit of a glitter side to it.
I saw the Roger Rampage you got there.
Yep, Roger Rampage there, and this one's quite a special one. It's designed. It's a design by AAC, funnily enough.
Oh really?
It's an Avatar Sabre Island splice.
Oh.
So you've got 2 chalices that are growing convergently there,
Yeah.
which has been created by the guys over at AAC.
Oh, wicked! And if you haven't checked out that video, we've already filmed a couple of episodes there, so make sure to check those out. I can see just appeared down here. You've got a Harlequin shrimp.
Yeah, so he's helping me with my Asterinas. I had a bit of a population explosion.
Yeah.
So he's clearing those up for me, slowly but steady. And then when he's done in this tank, he goes in the frag tank, and then he comes back in here, and I just switch him around.
Perfect.
So he's got a constant supply. And then yeah, in terms of sticks, I really like my acros with that big polyp extension.
Yeah.
So I've tried a few higher end acros, shall we say. So there's like a delirium, a strawberry shortcake, confetti, and fan fairy, which are doing really, really well.
Yeah, they look really, really happy in there.
I should say they all started out as everything in this tank came on a frag plug. So
wow, this hammer's absolutely huge.
yeah,
You see it next to my hand, this gold hammer.
I bought a double-headed frag of pink hammer,
Yeah.
broke it in half and put one here, that's been broken in half again. It was the same size as that. It's just prolific,
Oh, wow.
that stuff. So that's enjoying it. And I've recently started dabbling with Goniopora.
Yeah.
So I had this green Goni for a couple of months, and now I've tried a red, and they seem to be...
Yeah, they're really happy. I've never really had any luck with Gonies, so...
I found that's the spot I've settled on. It's just out of the main sort of light.
Yeah, slightly diffused.
Yeah, it's the lower light level and a bit more of a gentle flow, and I'm getting the best extension out of them now.
Yeah, they look really, really happy.
So that's something I might explore a bit more, is some more Gonies, and obviously the clams, and yeah.
And what acro is this one at the top?
So that is a Miyagi Tortuga. Bought that at the same time, funny enough, as this neon green, what is called a hairy monster acro. And obviously that hasn't grown nowhere near as much as the Miyagi Tort. Obviously Miyagi Torts are a bit of an easier coral. In fact, that was the first acro I bought as a kind of SPS test. And yeah, it's structurally like quite a nice shape now.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And so I can see you keep your back glass clean. That must be a bit of a challenge keeping on top of that.
I never used to, you know. I used to have it, I can't
Just
scrape the weir
coralline.
box.
Yeah, because it's plastic.
Plastic. And it used to be like all across the back. And a few people, mainly Paul at AAC, badgered me about cleaning the back glass. Yeah, you know, and everyone saying you're lazy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And since I've been keeping it clean, I love it. Everything
It does
just pops.
really give a nice depth, because you said this tank's 18 inches, is it?
It's only 18 inches, yes.
To me, it looks even a couple feet deep from back here. You're really getting a nice depth to it in person.
Yeah, I kind of tried that with the Scape, with the two islands and the swim through between the middle. I hope that will try and help achieve that. But it's the only thing I would change about this tank. If I was to start again, I'd have at least 2 foot front to back.
Yeah.
But because I had the tank already, I didn't have to buy a tank, so it was here, so I used it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely stunning. Well, thank you very much for your fish room tour. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, once again, absolutely amazing systems. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for coming.
So that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you've got any questions, please leave them down in the comment section, and I'm sure myself or Jamie will be able to answer them. We've got loads more tank tours and shop tours coming up very soon, so make sure to subscribe as well. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.